So I have arrived to the second least visited country in Europe. I won't tell you which that is, I want you to guess, so I'll give you like 3 indications and then you'll have a few seconds to think about it. So first, it's a German-speaking country, then it's the 6th smallest country in the world, and then it's a municipality, so that means they have a prince. Okay, so see in a few seconds and we'll see if you manage to guess, but do not check Google, yeah? So try to think about it. Okay, so I guess that I will just say it. Welcome to Liechtenstein. I have no clue if I pronounced that correctly, but so given that the country is the 6th smallest in the world, that means that it's a microstate, so it's kind of long, 25 kilometers, and it's wide 9.4, sorry. So yeah, very small country really. Now in terms of microstates I've seen so far Monaco, San Marino and Vaticano, and I would definitely love to see Andorra and Luxembourg as well. I don't know, there's something attractive about the microstates. The microstates are definitely sticking together. So one thing you need to know about this country is that they use the Swiss franc as their currency. What I noticed so far, that whilst in Switzerland the toilet is for free, here you have to pay 1 Swiss franc. So in this country live 38,000 people. And in this particular city we have 5,200. This is the second biggest city in the country. So it's the capital, Vaduz, but it's the second largest. The biggest city in this country has 5,700 people, so 500 more. So basically it's very small capital, and somehow I managed not to find the city center. I have no clue where that is. I walk around and here is where you can get the passport stamps, because when you enter the country they don't really check you, so they don't put the stamp on your passport. So if you need a stamp just for memory, just for fun, you need to come and buy it in a place like this, basically. This is the place where I wanted to come. This is, I guess, the city center. It's such a small city, it's weird even to think it's a capital. And yes, no worries about my camera. This is the safest country in Europe. So yeah, nobody will touch my camera for sure. They even leave their doors open here. So basically I see that we cannot drone on top of the castle, which makes sense because obviously you have the royal family there. and they need their privacy. It makes sense. I wouldn't want a drone, you know, flying on top of my house either. And talking about the royal family, this is a very discreet royal family, but it's the richest in the world. We'll talk about that in a second. So I was saying that the royal family is very rich. Now imagine that they worth $7.6 billion, I think, dollars maybe. And the queen, God rest her soul, was worth 500 millions. The royals here love to interact with the locals. Sometimes they come and have a drink here at the bar. They even host a party at the castle once a year for the locals to have a tea with them. Now, another interesting fact about the royal family is that they have a huge impact on the government here. So basically they guide the country. And when the people said, listen, we don't want you to guide the country, like we don't want you to control the country, they said, oh yeah, fair enough, I'll just take my money, my 7 billions, and just go, if you don't want me. And then the population changed their minds. Who knows why?
Now, only 33% of the population that lives here is actually from Liechtenstein. All the rest are foreigners, and that's because there are more companies and more jobs than the actual population. Isn't that cool?
So behind me we have the tourist office, which probably is not that busy given that this is the second least visited country in Europe. Nice shop. Nice. I see it's all about the castle here. This is a problem I also have. So basically everything is closing at 5, the girl told me, so I want to go to see the art museum, so I better be quick. Purpose like this? Like, is this on purpose like this? Like is this the art or it's a... Yeah? You know what I mean? It's like, it's like this, yeah? Interesting. Interesting modern art. Interesting. sure what that is. Ah, silicone. Ah, to keep them, because I see they all have, but that one has a bit more. Ah. Kind of they represent the skin color, maybe, no? Like the color of the skin? No. Ah, you see? Yeah, now makes sense. Nice. You know what I'm doing now? I'm going to a grocery shop. I want to see how much things cost here, you know, in terms of food. I know it's expensive, but I'm curious. So we're going grocery shopping. This country is very close related with Switzerland. Both speak German, they have the currency, as I told you earlier on, and also sometimes Switzerland represents Liechtenstein for diplomatic matters. So, wow, they're very close. Oh, and not only, but Liechtenstein is using the Swiss army. So they don't even have their own army. They are using the Swiss army in case of necessity. So yeah, I would say they are literally like brothers and sisters. Now at this stage, the question that arises is if I would recommend you to come here. Well, not really, no. And that's because the city is very small. Not much to do or to see, and it's very hard to get here. Basically, you can come here only by car. There's no airport, there's no waterways, and the trains that you have are working only between Monday and Friday during peak hours. So you don't even have a train to get you here. So the only way you can come here is by car. And to be honest, I'm not sure if it's worth to do 2 or 3 hours of car to get here. I mean, it's lovely, don't get me wrong, but literally in half a day you've seen everything. So, I don't know. You decide.